You're living in the last moments before everything shifts. And most people have no idea it's happening. Right now, as you're watching this, the universe is orchestrating changes so profound that the way you see reality, the way you experience time, even the way you understand your own existence is about to be completely rewritten. And here's the wild part. The signs have been showing up everywhere, but we've been too distracted by the noise to notice the signal. I'm not talking about some distant cosmic event or abstract spiritual concept. I'm talking about something immediate, something personal, something that's already moving through your life. Whether you're paying attention or not, the universe doesn't announce its shifts with fanfare. It whispers through synchronicities, through patterns you can't quite explain, through that growing sense that something big is coming, even when you can't put your finger on what it is. Think about the last few months of your life. Really think, how many times have you felt like you're on the edge of something? How many times have you caught yourself saying, "Things feel different"? That's not your imagination. That's not wishful thinking. That's the universe preparing you for what's about to unfold. Here's what most people don't understand. That the old systems, the old ways of being, the old patterns that once served us, they're cracking. And when something this big cracks, it doesn't just fall apart, it transforms into something entirely new. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people are going to experience this shift as chaos. They're going to resist it, fight it, try to hold on to what's familiar, even when it's clearly not working anymore. They're going to exhaust themselves trying to control outcomes that are already in motion. But you don't have to be most people, because once you understand what's actually happening, once you see the bigger picture, you can move with a change instead of against it. This isn't about positive thinking or manifesting your way out of difficulty. This is about recognizing that the universe has been preparing you for this moment your entire life. Every challenge you faced, every time you've been forced to let go, every moment you felt like you were being pushed beyond your comfort zone, it was all training. Training for right now, training for what's coming. And what's coming isn't destruction, it's reconstruction. But not the kind where someone else builds your life for you. The kind where you finally remember how to build it yourself. Aligned with forces so much bigger than your individual will that resistance becomes impossible and surrender becomes freedom. You want to know why everything feels so intense right now? Why relationships are shifting? Why old dreams are dying? Why nothing feels quite the same as it used to? It's because the universe is clearing space. It's removing everything that's not in alignment with who you're becoming. And who you're becoming isn't just a better version of who you are now. It's something completely different, something that your current identity can't even imagine. Most people think they're supposed to figure this out with their minds. They think they're supposed to plan their way through it, strategize their way into alignment. But the mind that got you here isn't the mind that's going to take you there. The consciousness that created your current reality isn't the consciousness that's going to create what's next. That's why trying to control this process feels so exhausting. You're using the wrong tools for the job. The universe is asking you to trust something you can't see yet, to move towards something you can't fully understand yet, to become someone you've never been before. And that's terrifying for the part of you that's been running the show up until now. But it's also the most natural thing in the world for the part of you that's been waiting in the wings, the part of you that's always known this moment would come. Here's what's about to happen. The gap between your inner knowing and your outer reality is about to close. Not gradually, not over years of slow progress, rapidly in ways that will make you question everything you thought you knew about how life works. The things you've been sensing, the changes you've been feeling, the shifts you've been experiencing, they're not random. They're preparation. The universe has been upgrading your internal operating system, and now it's time for the external world to catch up. But this isn't going to look like what you expect. It's not going to unfold according to your timeline, or your preferences, or your carefully laid plans. It's going to happen according to an intelligence so vast, so precise, so perfectly orchestrated that your only job is to stay open enough to receive it. And that's where most people get stuck. They want to know the details, they want to know when, how, what it's going to look like, what they're supposed to do, but the universe doesn't work that way. It reveals itself one step at a time, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. And each step requires you to release your grip on how you think things should go, and trust that something far more beautiful than you could have planned is already in motion. The old world is ending, not in some apocalyptic sense, but in the sense that the structures, beliefs, and patterns that have defined human experience for generations are dissolving. And in that dissolution, in that space between what was and what's coming, lies the most powerful creative potential the universe has ever offered. You're not just witnessing history, you're the turning point itself. Every single person watching this right now has been placed exactly where they are for exactly this moment. And what happens next depends entirely on whether you recognize what's actually unfolding. The shift isn't coming. That's not discomfort. That's activation. The universe has been rewiring your entire energetic system, and now it's time to understand why. See, most people think transformation is about changing their circumstances. Get the better job, find the right relationship, move to the perfect place. But what's happening right now is the opposite. The universe is changing you so completely that your circumstances have no choice but to rearrange themselves around who you're becoming. And who you're becoming isn't an improvement on who you are now. It's a complete departure. This is why nothing feels familiar anymore. This is why the old methods aren't working. This is why every time you try to force something to happen the way it used to happen, you hit a wall. The universe has upgraded your frequency, and now you're operating on a completely different bandwidth than the reality you're trying to navigate. But here's what's wild about this moment. You're not the only one experiencing it. Every single person who's meant to be part of what's coming is going through their own version of this activation right now. Some are fighting it, some are sleeping through it, but some are recognizing it for what it is and choosing to move with it instead of against it. And that choice, that decision to align with what's already in motion rather than resist it, that's what determines everything. Because the universe isn't asking for your permission, it's asking for your participation. It's asking you to stop trying to control the process and start trusting the intelligence that's been orchestrating your entire life from the beginning. You want to know why certain people keep showing up in your life right now? Why certain opportunities keep appearing even when they don't make logical sense? Why doors are opening in directions you never even considered? It's because you're being assembled, not just you individually, but you as part of something bigger. The universe is connecting the pieces, bringing together everyone who's supposed to be part of what comes next. And what comes next isn't just about you living a better life. It's about you remembering who you actually are beneath all the conditioning, all the limitations, all the stories you've been telling yourself about what's possible. The universe is stripping away everything that isn't you, so that what is you can finally emerge without interference. This is why letting go has become so natural lately. When you stop trying to figure everything out and start trusting what you feel, when you stop living from your head and start living from your knowing, that's when the magic really begins. Because the universe has been preparing gifts for you that your current self can't even imagine. Opportunities that don't exist yet in any form you'd recognize. Connections that will reshape your understanding of what relationships can be. Experiences that will expand your sense of what life can hold. And that feeling, that experience of being carried by life instead of fighting with it, that's what the universe has been preparing you for all along. So here's your choice. You can spend your energy trying to make sense of what's happening with the same mind that created your current reality. You can exhaust yourself trying to control outcomes that are already set in motion. You can trust that every single thing that's falling away needed to fall away. You can trust that every single thing that's coming is exactly what's meant to come. The universe is about to change everything. Not someday, right now. And you get to choose whether you're going to be someone it happens to or someone it happens through. If you felt something shift while watching this, if something inside you recognized the truth of what's being shared here, leave a comment that simply says, I'm ready. Because readiness isn't about having all the answers. It's about being open to receiving them as they come.